What's going on, guys? Dad Dash here, and I wanted to come to you with a video and talk to you today about some things that are going on out there in the gig community, and I want to just kind of talk with you about it and go over, just some of the things that I want to address. This is going to be one of those videos where some people are going to like it, some people aren't, but you know what? It is what it is. Some of these things need to be addressed, and namely this fact, and it's this. It's that right now I've seen, and again, I admittedly am working with DoorDash right now to try to resolve an issue that I think regarding me trying to get Top Dasher. Now, I admit I didn't go through the entire process. I was using what I thought was an opportunity that I think it still should have been looked at as an opportunity to be able to get the Top Dasher program in place without the pain, the real hard pain that normally you have to go through. And admittedly, if I don't get it, I don't get it. It is what it is. It's DoorDash being DoorDash. Because DoorDash, in the end, doesn't do right by its dashers all the time. We know that, right? We know they try to do squeamish things. But the reality is, the bottom line is that the alleged Top Dasher movement is very concerning to me. And why is it concerning to me? It is not concerning to me because of the fact that people are not making, are potentially going to end up not making money or whatever. Like, that's on you as a person for whether it works or not. What I'm concerned more with is the motivations of the people around it, which I cannot seem to get my head around, right? What is going on here? Because, while I agree conceptually with the idea that we as gig business operators should always be looking to better ourselves and find the best opportunities. And again, I have said from the beginning that in the event that Top Dasher in your area represents an opportunity to extract more value out of orders, and you believe the value that you're losing in the orders during the time you're working to get Top Dasher outweighs, is less than the value you're gaining when you finally are Top Dasher, then by all means do what benefits you. Absolutely. What I'm concerned about, though, is this idea and this selling job that's going on in some of these videos by some of these content creators who are selling this idea like it is some sort of cure-all, that you're going to live this utopian life as a Top Dasher. Welcome to Top Dasher. Enjoy all the benefits. It's wonderful. By the way, come join our Discord and pay us $9.99 a month. And we'll share with you how to even make it better. We'll share with you the secrets of DoorDash that we've discovered, when the reality is there are no secrets of DoorDash. And then they invite people in and say, hey, show us. In 1 minute, this can work anywhere in the United States. And then the moment they say, but if you're going to show us alternative information, then you got to understand it's market specific. Well, you can't have both. And that, to me, puts in question the motivation of these channels, of this one in particular channel, which I'm not naming any channel specifically. Some of you will know exactly who I'm talking about. I'm not going to call out individual names, but I'm going to raise concern from the standpoint of what is the motivation of these people to try to sell people that they are some guru who can solve all these people's problems if you just pay me money. And that sniffs of just terribleness, right? It's terrible. Because people out here it's already tough for people to make money. And what it's telling me is that these people are not really interested in making money as Top Dashers. They're interested in making money off of people who think they have this cure-all for all the things that ail you in the gig world. And they think that they have a quick way to say, you don't got to do all the work, you don't got to learn your market, you don't got to do any of these things, become Top Dasher. DoorDash does it all for you. And that is absolutely not true. As I said in my recent video that I dropped, DoorDash is doing Top Dasher for one reason and one reason only. It's trying to get people to fill the holes in their needs, that, and they're trying to get them to do it as cheaply as possible by offering you things that should just be there to begin with, right? They're actually saying, well, we're going to give you access to bigger orders. We're going to inconvenience the customer, right? We have a Dasher sitting here. If what's to be believed is correct, that DoorDash is saying, we're going to inconvenience this higher paying customer. We have a Dasher sitting right at our store, but that Dasher's acceptance rate is 7%. But there's another Dasher 6 miles down the road, and we're going to offer that order to them because they have a 90% acceptance rate, or they had one last month. And then we're going to sit here and we're going to say, okay, DoorDash, that's fair. So that customer waits on their food longer. That's ridiculous. And that's crazy. And if DoorDash is doing that, I don't know what isn't legal about that. Maybe it's all legal, right? We're independent contractors. They can independently make offers to us. They don't have to show us the same offer that they show somebody sitting in the same parking lot as me, because we're independent contractors. There's nothing that says they have to show you the same offer, although it does look inherently unfair when two offers come into the same drivers. That's what's been alleged, and one driver's getting a higher offer and the other's getting a lower offer. That's wrong. There's something wrong there. DoorDash is essentially diverting funds to pay people for the larger orders. Now, in theory, people are showing you and saying, well, you're going to make more money, right? And that's fine. I've seen it. As I had a higher acceptance rate, I noticed that a lot of the no-tip orders that used to be $2.25 have an extra $1 of base pay on them. And that's great. But now that it's $3.25, doesn't equate to make that order any better than it was when it was $2.25. That's great, DoorDash. You're going to send me an extra $1. That's great, DoorDash. You're going to, that's still substandard pay for any order that they're going to offer you, whether it's a mile, 2 miles, or whatever. Okay? That's terrible pay. That is not pay that's going to pay the bills. And that's problematic for DoorDash that they're doing that. And that's the issue here, is that I don't believe the value of the orders that you're getting, even though they're going to show you individual orders. And they're going to say, here's this order, here's this order. Show us shifts. Show us months of data. Show us the fact that you're getting, instead what we get is, well, I'm working less and I'm making the same amount. It's funny, you're making the same amount as a multi-apper, right? But you're allegedly working less. Listen, I can tell you right now, if you go out and you multi-app in your market, and you have multiple apps on, and you do multi-apping correctly and ethically, you can make the same amount of money as a top dasher, if not more. Because you're going to be leveraging all 3 different apps, 4 different apps, 5 different apps. You're going to be finding the best value for your time at the given moment. And that's what gig work is all about. And if you are literally allowing DoorDash to tell you what that value is, you're nothing more than an employee. If you're not shopping your services, keeping yourself open. I was listening to another gentleman who was 2 days into Top Dasher, saying, I'm not going to need the multi-app. I find myself not wanting. This is great. Look, what they're doing is they are selling you. They are tapping into, and this is the geniusness of what DoorDash is doing, and what I guess somehow they've got these people shilling for them, is they're tapping into the fundamental employee mindset that's still ingrained in people because you were trained to be an employee from infancy. When you entered school, if you look at the basis of the school system, and this is not any conspiracy crap or nothing like that, this is just truth. School was based on the Industrial Revolution, and it was meant to prepare people to work in industries, to work in factories, to work in an environment of work. Hence why school requires students to show up for 8 hours. They have their supervisor, their teacher. They come in and everybody says, resoundingly, everyone who's ever been to school says, I don't feel like they teach me anything else. It's not about that. It's about compliance. It's about showing up, following the rules. It's about regurgitating and memorizing what I tell you to do, what I tell you to do, and how I tell you to do it. And then you come back and you take something called a test, and we test you to see how well you're doing. If you are doing well, if you are behaving, if you are regurgitating all the information, if you understand the information and how the world works according to how we taught you, and you tell us you understand it, you get an A. if you are somebody who's going to think outside the box, who's going to be maybe a little bit like, this doesn't feel right to me and I'm going to be a little revolutionary, you might get a B. You might get a C. The D's and the F's are the people that are like, these are non-compliance. These are not going to be, and you're not going to be rewarded with a job. When you leave school, jobs want your GPA. Why? Because they want to see how compliant you are. They want to see how ready you are. Are you ready to accept 8 hours? Are you ready to accept a boss that's going to come in and tell you when you go to lunch, when you can go to the bathroom, when you leave, how much you make, and that you are ready for that compliant behavior? So therefore, people coming into gig work are naturally already predisposed to this worker mentality. Then you go in and you've done this. You've been through 14 years, 15 years, 18 years of schooling, where you just live like this. This is what you live. This was your life, right? That's all you know. And then you go into a job and you're yearning for what you know. And they know that. You're yearning for what's familiar. So you go to a job and they provide you with that familiarity that you already have been successful with, that you've already gotten your A's with, that you've already gotten that you're familiar with, right? And then one day you wake up and you say, I want to go, I hear about this DoorDash thing. I want that freedom and everything. And you come out and then you're suddenly without all that structure. And DoorDash has come here to say, how can we take advantage of the worker? Get them to leave their job, come to us, treat them like employees. So they try to tap into it. They try to tap into what we yearn for, which is that employee mentality. So they give us that, but then they don't give us the benefits. They don't let us reap the full benefits. And then they get to keep some of what we have by getting us to act like employees. And Top Dasher does that. Top Dasher, and what they've done is they've done the ultimate. They pulled back all these things. They pulled back all transparency. And then they've said, if you are good, if you're the A student, if you follow exactly what we have, if you go back to what you know, here it is, guys. Here is how you get an A. Here, and then you're like, that's familiar to me. I like that. And there it is. And then you're going to get all these big things. And then you're going to have that. They're going to tap into that. And then people are going to feel like, well, wait a minute. It worked very well. All these YouTubers out here. And I'm guilty of it myself, although I wasn't going to put myself through the hell. But when I had the opportunity that DoorDash was giving me, which may not have been the free opportunity I thought it was, but all of a sudden it's like, oh, what are we missing? We better get over there and find out. Oh my God, they're getting all this good stuff. And then they have a couple people that they come out and we don't know what the connections are. We don't know what's really going on. Maybe they're just in it to make money for themselves. Maybe they're DoorDash shills. Maybe they're going to get kickbacks from DoorDash. I don't know. It sounds really bizarre and weird to me that you would be promoting people to go join Top Dasher and be like, I'm so happy you're a Top Dasher. I mean, you're getting paid by Top Dashers, like for how many Top Dashers you get. Or if DoorDash improves their Top Dasher ratio by so many, I don't know. It's weird to me. But suddenly, DoorDash is buying you into all of that. So now you're like, okay, I'm going to go over and do this. And you know what? People are like, I love this. I mean, I can just do what I'm supposed to do. And all I got to do is get this and get this. And then I'm going to get all these extra orders. And DoorDash is going to give me all this money. And I don't have to worry about going out and doing it for myself. And you become an employee. But the problem is now you're being an employee in a much more dangerous environment. If you want to be an employee, go be an employee where you actually have laws protecting you for overtime, protecting you for the benefits, time off, and all the things you get when you are a true blue employee and you can be an employee. Go in there and get your 5 objectives and knock them out and get given that nice pat on the back and a 5% pay raise every year. Maybe you get a little bonus program. Maybe you get a little Top Dasher in whatever industry you're in. Go back to it, right? I recommend you do because you're in a dangerous zone right now because you're not an employee right now. You're not owed anything. You're in the job equivalent of a credit card, right? They can change those terms at any time. So here you are running along Top Dasher 1 month and then they change that. Boom. And it says it right there. We can change it at any time. And they put a change out and now there it is. You're like, oh my God, I did all this work. That's great. Thank you. They got it out of you. You have to understand the idea that you are gambling every time you go for Top Dasher at the end of the month. And you are gambling with your earnings because what you are essentially doing is you are basically saying, okay, DoorDash, I'm going to earn less this week. And I'm going to put faith in you that you're going to give me back what I've lost plus some over the next 3 weeks. And DoorDash says, I never said I was going to do that, but that's great. Do it. I said you get opportunities. I never said we were going to balance you out, right? And the more people that become Top Dasher, the less DoorDash has to worry about balancing people out. Right now, everybody's at the bottom, right? Everybody's fighting at the bottom with low acceptance rates. And I want to get the best orders. They just reconfigured the game. So now everybody's going to go back up to the top and fight over it. It'll be saturated up there. And then DoorDash will just say, it is what it is. And the thing is, DoorDash doesn't have to do one thing that they want to avoid. They don't have to pay Dashers more. When we were declining orders, again, when we were forcing DoorDash to give us valuable orders for our time before we would go out, we were forcing DoorDash to have to figure out how to get valuable orders. And they already knew they were pressing the customer to the max on the fee side. So the only option was they had to share some of the money they're making off that customer with us, in addition to what the customer was already tipping. There's only so much the customer can afford, and DoorDash knows that. But DoorDash threw an audible and said, there's one other option. We convince them to become employees. We reduce transparency. We do everything we can to legally shift tips around and shift money around. And we convince them that there's a honeypot of gold at the top. And we'll get them to go after that honeypot of gold. And instead of chasing the bottom, which would have had to make us eventually either decide, okay, what are we going to do here? We got to make changes. Instead, we take the collective, and instead of them running down and saying, DoorDash, we're going to make you pay us, they run up and say, oh, pay us, DoorDash. And DoorDash says, okay. And then they pay whoever they have to pay. And then the rest of the people, as you're talking about, wait a minute, I didn't get my money. I thought you were going to pay me all this money. Oh, it's your market. Oh, what was your acceptance? Oh, your acceptance rate was too low. Oh my God, so I need to take more bad orders. Okay, great, I'll go make money doing it. I mean, great, what? This is a winning mindset for DoorDash. This is a winning strategy for DoorDash. You better believe it is. So listen, guys, I don't care what you do, right? I mean, I've had some rather lively chats with people and stuff. I don't care what you do, right? You want to do this, that's fine. I'm only here to help give you perspective. And I'm giving you perspective from my experience base. And I'm just saying, be analytical. Check it out. Look at it. Do not take DoorDash at their word that what they're doing is in your best benefit. Do what don't be an employee. Don't follow the group off the roof as everybody's jumping in the river and saying, oh my God, it's beautiful. And then they get down there and they hit a rock and they're all dying. And you're like, well, nobody knew until they jumped and they got close enough to see that people aren't partying down there. Those screams aren't fun. They're dying. And that's exactly what's going to happen to all of you if you don't watch what you're doing right now. And you follow the group and you follow the collective and you follow people who do not have your best interest at heart. And I'm not telling you to say that I have your best interest at heart. Or any of the other guys out there are telling you, like Pedro DoorDash Santiago, Nova Dasher. I saw them last night. And look, clearly they have their interest, but they've been around the business long enough to know that, this thing ain't changed. The wheel ain't broken. Ain't nobody needs to come in and fix it. You're still making money the same way you were making money 2 years ago today. Value. Find the value. Whatever you're comfortable with, whatever you need to make. If you're comfortable making $20 an hour, then find the orders that are valued at $20 an hour. If you want to make $25 an hour, then do it. Some markets may not have enough orders to support you. Some may. But I can assure you right now that you are not going to get where you need to be if you are solely reliant on DoorDash to get you there. Because DoorDash doesn't care about getting you there. They care about getting themselves there and making as much money while they do it. And if you don't understand that, you are going to understand. And we can fight in comments, you can get angry, you can get mad, you can call us fools, but we're not. And really, we shouldn't call names because none of you are fools. Like, you guys are just, trying to do your best. But I'm just saying, take it from somebody who's been in business for a long time, be analytical, do what makes sense, find value, and let value be your guide. That's it. And if Top Dasher right now is getting you value, then do it until it isn't. But always be looking at value. Always be analyzing. Always be collecting data. And if you aren't collecting data, if you aren't doing some form of data collection, then there's no way you can answer the questions I told you. There's no way you can know if you're getting value. Then you're just going to be talking about feeling and feeling like it's better. And that feeling, and that's not being better. That's just a feeling. You're going to talk about, oh, it looks like it's better. That doesn't mean anything. You're going to be looking and say, I just went on there and saw all these big orders. Okay, that was order 1, order 2, order 3. Somebody patched together a video and showed you that they made the same amount of money as they were making, but said, hey, by the way, I did it quicker. Although in that video, they worked 8 hours and alleged they were off. We don't know what was really going on. What we can tell you is people that are experienced and out there and knowing what's up is 8 hours is 8 hours, 10 hours is 10 hours. Somebody's trying to make money somewhere, but it is not dashing. It is not dashing that they're making their money. They're making their money when you turn it over to them, so they open up the war chest and say, here it is. And then when you don't achieve, they say, sorry, market dependent. Oh, wait, did you do it? Oh, what was your rate? What was this? What was that? You're just not doing it right. You're not doing good. Hey, you know what? I'll personally coach you. Give me more money. Give me more money. And then when you get fed up, guess what? They've made all their money. They don't give a crap because there's going to be someone else coming right behind them. Anyways, that's all I got to say on it. And hopefully you heed my, you look at this and you analyze it for your own approach. That's all I got to say. Hit that subscribe button, even if you don't agree with me, so you can get in on the discussion and see my videos and get and hear my perspective. I'm not asking you to agree with it. Hear it. Information is power, guys. Knowledge is power. Use it. Hit that like button. Share this with at least one person you think you get value. Stay profitable. Stay safe. And I'll talk to you soon.